Good evening. South Australia is in the grips of a jobs crisis. Our unemployment rate surging to its highest level in 14 years and the worst in the nation. Energy company Alinta today confirming the closure of its Port Augusta power station and Leigh Creek coal mine at the expense of more than 400 workers and possibly an entire town.
Alinta workers knew the end was coming, but thought it was 15 years away. Today they were told the Port Augusta power station and Leigh Creek coal mine could close within months, leaving all 440 of them out of work.
We know of families in our membership where the wife, husband and father all work at the power station.
Alinta says its coal-fired power operations will close sometime between March 2016 and early 2018, despite having previously nominated 2030.
So to be brought forward at least 12 years is extraordinary.
Unfortunately, when we recently went to market for forward contracts for the output of the plant, the prices that were on offer were well below our operating costs.
Workers left to seek jobs in a declining sector or elsewhere.
Of course, our thoughts are with the workers and their families.
The Premier forming a task force to soften the huge blow to Port Augusta and to try and keep Leigh Creek alive.
Initially, we'll support the engagement team with $1 million to assist those communities grapple with the changes that are about to occur.
He'll seek federal help too. Confirmation of the Alinta closure comes within months of Whyalla miner Arium cutting 600 positions, BHP axing 310 Olympic Dam workers and Santos culling more than 500 positions, mainly in South Australia. Figures released today showing South Australia's unemployment rate surged to 7.6% for May, the worst in the nation and our highest in 14 years.
Last month, 8,700 full-time jobs were lost in South Australia.
And with Holden winding down and with hundreds of Osborne shipbuilding jobs on the line, there are fears it will get worse.
There is a jobs crisis in South Australia. The federal government must, as a matter of urgency, commit to building the submarines here. It's a matter of confidence.
9 News reporters Rory McLaren and Eddie Godfrey join us live from the towns to be hardest hit by the Alinta closures. First to you, Rory. This decision will affect many more in Port Augusta than just the power station workers.
That's certainly right, Brenton. It's estimated that Alinta invests around $8 million a year in the region, spending that money with other businesses and suppliers. And of course, local retailers, well, they depend on the business of hundreds of Alinta workers. Now, these are people who now either begin tightening their belts or even potentially look to leave town altogether. So the impact on Port Augusta will be significant, and that's a point certainly not lost on locals.
It's going to be pretty tough for young families with loans, houses we're looking to build, and probably not going to happen now.
I think it's going to make a pretty big impact on the whole town. It's pretty hard going at the moment anyway.
What about the town, mate? Port Augusta, it's a...
Knock it around a bit.
Now, there has been some talk of a solar thermal plant being built here to replace the coal-fired plant, but if that does happen, it's expected that the jobs which will be created will only be a portion of the jobs which have been lost here today. Brenton?
All right, Rory and Eddie, you're there in Leigh Creek. There are tonight very real concerns the coal mine closure will kill the town.
That's right, Brenton. This town exists almost exclusively to service that coal mine. In fact, in 1982, the entire town relocated for the coal mine's expansion. So all of the more than 500 residents here rely on it, and understandably, they are very nervous about what lies ahead. We spoke with some of the locals here today about that, and we also spoke with some people who live outside the town but come in here regularly for basic services, and this is what they told us.
It's devastating for the whole town.
It has a huge impact, not just for the locals of the town, but for the residents in Epabunna, Murray, us station people that with no hospitals, no shops, no nothing if the place closes.
Port Augusta, which is 250 k's away. You can't just duck down there for 5 minutes for a loaf of bread and, pound of butter.
So a very uncertain future for an awful lot of people out here, desperate for something to be done to keep the town going. But Brenton, the Premier himself today acknowledged that the state government needs to seriously consider what future Leigh Creek has, if any.
Indeed. Eddie, thank you.